diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairin' on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. Check, we Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairin', gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elder, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairin' on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it. We Ric Flairin' on it, flaring on it.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairin' on them, Ric Flairin' on them, Ric Flairin' on them, Ric Flairin' son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, I'm back. Season 2, we here. Next level, bigger and better. Let's go.
See me letting go. I'ma lose control. I'm not afraid to fall. Watch me drink it in and feel it all.
8 p.m. Monday night, so you know it's time to tune in to the AfterGlow show. Shout out to Kobe and them fam, you rattlers, the football historian. The audience is pouring in at this time like Jackson State playing Grambling. Both hosts like quarterbacks, but ain't scrambling. The Alcorn state of mind that I'm in got me blending in, but standing out like tiger skin. Shout out to TSU and all the recruits, turning down big schools for HBCUs. They changed up the scheme, so we changing the scenes. Money for our likeness is nice, but this means we gotta give it all that we got in this game. Black college grad myself, I went to pain. Pick, run, hit, or throw, that's your option. Discussing the coaches, wins, and the losses on the AfterGlow.
See me letting go.
Scotty, you went crazy.
I'ma lose control.
Every Monday night at 8,
I'm not
super crazy.
afraid to fall.
Featuring
Watch me
Kofi and your
drink
boy
it
Scotty.
in and feel it all.
You know what time it is?
Go,
Let's,
go,
you heard me. Let's,
go.
season 2.
go.
Enjoy.
Woo! Hey, listen. I try to tell you, I got the hottest theme songs out here in these YouTube streets. Anyway, listen, you already know. When you hear the theme song, you already know what it is. Monday night, Afterglow show. It's in the building, and it couldn't be nothing without my brother. Go anyway.
What up, boy? What up, boy? What up, boy?
What's good, Kobe? How was your weekend, man?
It was good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Blessed, and still living, as we say. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I see you making changes and changing the world and everything.
Changing the world? What world am I changing?
Bro, you changing the whole landscape of HBCUs and everything, bro. That is big stuff. Everybody don't have the resources, but God has sent you our way. God has something. It's God. You remember that dude that be on BET? God got something in store for you, son. I'm trying to tell you.
Like, why do you do that stuff without me about to drink my drink? Like, I'd be like, bro, I don't want to tell you about to spit off all my equipment. Then it's going to be broke. Hey, man, you always catch me when I'm about to drink something. I'm like,
you ought to know by now, bro. You ought to know.
I got to chill. All right, let's get to a couple of announcements. Hey, listen, Tuesday, I got a show. You guys have known Rocky. Upon further review, he'll be dropping another one of his episodes on Tuesday. Be pretty much doing the Super Bowl review as well, but also some betting tips for you. Remember, entertainment purposes only, but he will be giving you some betting tips and things like that of what you want to look for at the Super Bowl. Also, if you missed it this Sunday, Girls Need Girls debut with my lovely fiance and my homie Robin. They had a great episode. It was actually pretty entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. And I was like, this is pretty good. So Girls Need Girls is every Sunday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, where girls can come and y'all talk what girls talk about and all that crap, whatever. Listen, it's simply because I'm tired of seeing subscribers, significant others pretty much be like, oh my God, I see you on my television all the time. Oh my God. All they do is watch you and Kofi and you and Mike and you and Blue. Like, listen, I'm trying to make this a family affair. All right. Bring your ladies. All right. Tell your wives, tell your girlfriends. Hey, Scotty got a show for the females. All right. So that I'm trying to help y'all out. See y'all. Thank you, God. See, I'm trying to put y'all on game. So y'all don't seem like y'all are losing y'all ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like giving me too much time. No homo. Okay. I don't know y'all members like that. All right. No homo. I don't know y'all members like that. All right. So I'm trying to help y'all out. So that's just, so don't say I never done nothing for you. Don't say I never did nothing for you. So I just, just gotta let y'all know. All right. Well, we got a full slate show today. Listen, there's been a lot touching these HBCU streets. Bethune-Cookman hires a new coach finally. Super Bowl breakdown, and we're going to get to some HBCU class rankings. But listen, we got to start with the hot topic. Listen, Raymond Woody Jr. hired, I call him Lil Bill. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Now, what you decide to do is on you. All right. But I call him Little Bill. Has named the new head coach of Bethune-Cookman. Kofi, when you heard it, first of all, how do you, as a FAMU alum, how do you be feeling about Bethune-Cookman and all their shambles of what they've been going through lately? And then talk about the hire.
The rattler in me wants to see them suffer because they beat us 9 years straight. We want to return the freaking favor. Ed Reed had us a little nervous. But needless to say, now that they've hired Raymond Woody Jr., Rattler Nation is quite happy on today for Bethune-Cookman University. Okay, now, the activist in me hates what's happening at Bethune. Largely because I want to see all HBCUs operate at a high degree of excellence.
That's good.
And that's not excellence. Not to mention, it's a Christian university.
So hold on. I talked to somebody who was a 4th generation Bethune-Cookman alum. She told me she don't know where that came from. That they are they're the only reason she said is because the Methodist is on the board, but technically Bethune-Cookman is not a Christian university. She said she don't know where they got that from, but technically it is not. She said just the Methodist people were on the board. They gave $1 million a year. They got 6 chairs. When they had that big board, they had 6 chairs. But technically, she said Bethune-Cookman is not a Christian university. She said she don't know where they got that from. But okay.
Well, here's my thing. Any school that tells their students that they have to go to chapel is a Christian university.
Okay, that's fair. That's
all right. And the fact that Mary McLeod Bethune was a devout, spirit-filled, fire-baptized woman of God who started that school on faith off $1.50. She made it happen. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, okay? So I know that it was built on a Christian foundation, just like America. America is a godly nation. Now, is it, do we belong to God? Have we turned our backs on the Lord?
That's fair.
Yes. Now, back in 1998, Dr. Juanita Bynum, at the time, came on the campus of Bethune-Cookman and ran she did like a revival of some sort. She did a revival. People got saved. People was bringing in their joints. They was throwing up at the altar. People was getting set free, healed, and delivered. All of that stuff. And she said, as long as you all continue to put God first, God is going to bless this university. Shortly after, they started whipping our ass. I ain't lying, bro. We had a nice streak going.
Oh, man.
We had a nice streak going against Bethune. But shortly after she left, the resources started changing. They started doing more stuff. The band got bigger. You know, just all kinds of stuff started happening on Bethune's behalf. I was like, but I knew it. I knew it. Bruh, I was so sick and tired of that darn song. I mean, I was like, bruh, you know, it's so frustrating, right? Because, you know, with FAMU, you know, we take pride in what we do, right? Oh. We love our school. And when they first debuted that song back in 1989, we were there. It was at the Florida Classic.
Oh, wow.
It was at Florida Classic. And they debuted, they might have played it before, but it didn't really matter because nobody cared. But when they played it at the Classic, I'm glad you found this comment. When they played it at the Classic, bro, everybody was like, oh, them niggas, they got a nice little fight song. Wildcats. Let's go. And we, the Rattlers started, it's like, that's jamming over there. We couldn't wait till they played it. We tried to throw our little remix in there, talking about Wildcats, go home. We was trying to do all kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, when the tables turned and Alvin Wyatt started whooping us, I got really sick of that darn song. We was up, I think it was one year we were up like 35-14 in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes left in the darn game. Do you know them Bamas came back and beat us?
No!
Bruh. We was sitting up. That was Billy Joe last year. The Rattler Nation just couldn't take it no more. We was like, oh my, bruh, get his ass got to go. We done lost a 20-some-odd point lead with 10 minutes left. And all you heard in the fourth quarter was, down. Okay. That's all you saw the entire freaking fourth quarter. Listen. One, we want them to play it at the beginning of the game. We don't mind that. We know the team coming on the field.
Oh, man.
We don't mind it at halftime when the Marching Wildcats is making the BCU for the 150,000th time that they do it. We know they're going to do it. But when they in the stands in the third and fourth quarter and they start playing that job a whole bunch, it's not a good sign. It's like, but let me get back to my story. The activists in B hates what's happening at Cookman. You know, their President Drake, is very articulate.
He talks too much.
He talks
Too
very well.
He talks too much, though.
But he be lying. I mean, it's one thing for, listen, I'm just saying, he be lying.
He be lying.
You be sitting up there like, every time he be sitting up there, he make a statement. And I'll be like, why you lying? Oh, how you lying?
Be lying.
Oh my God, stop lying. You know, I was like, bruh, like, you straight up lying to these people. Why don't you own the fact that you all have been dysfunctional? Say that, be done with it, and let's do better. You know, now, all campuses across the USA have mold. Okay. Somewhere in the campus, as long as you got people, moisture in some way. Georgia had it. Other schools had it. They had a whole list of PWIs. My thing is, to get a Bethune-Cookman education cost me $31,000 a year. Multiply that by the 3,500 students that they have. And now I'm like, where's that money going?
That's the question. Where is the money going?
You know, so now that he is the leader of the university, I know that technically, you know, I don't think that, quote unquote, they're stealing, but that level of mismanagement has to come under scrutiny and it has to come under pressure so that they can get it right. I don't like calling people's stuff out, especially when it's true, because it's pressure to that people stop, you know, they start getting mad at you. But at the end of the day, these students deserve a return on their investment and they're not getting it.
Absolutely.
I've said this on several occasions before, that when you are in a position of power, you are in a position to serve. I don't get that President Drake's heart of service is where it needs to be for him to be effective. Because if it was, you wouldn't allow the board to be this dysfunctional this long. You would find some kind of way to file an injunction. You would partner with the alumni. You would open up the lines of communication and not wait for somebody like Roland Martin to come to your school for you to have to clean something that should have been cleaned months ago.
So I talked to somebody who knows somebody on the board, and they said that I think a lot of people put a lot of earnest on the board where they shouldn't have it. The board is not allowed to deal with the day-to-day operations of the school based off the accreditation. That was it, SAC? The SAC accreditation. Am I correct on that? SAC?
The other SACs, yes.
Yeah. So SACs came in and told the board verbatim what they are and aren't allowed to do, and the day-to-day operations of Bethune-Cookman is one of those. Is the main thing about that. So the $10 million that that President Drake is flaunting out, like, oh, I'm doing the renovation. The board raised that money. It wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? But who fired Ed Reed? Drake. The board didn't want to let Ed Reed go, but they're not allowed to deal with the day-to-day operations that falls on Drake. And you can say, well, they put him in that position because he's the interim. Well, he's the interim for a reason. So they're trying to find another president, but nobody wants the job. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that go into that. But I think, like, in the totality, I think a lot of people put stuff on the board. Now, there's some things that they deserve to have, and rightfully so, right? But I'm gonna just say, from what I've been told, and I don't know much, but this people tell me stuff, is that as much as you want to get on Belvin Perry about how he's managed the board, the person I talked to was like, when the board was 30 people, nothing was ever getting done because it was 30 people.
It's too many people.
And then those people didn't have any terms. So when this is what I'm being told, Belvin Perry put terms on the board members of how long you can be there. So don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of things that he has done wrong, but you can't take away the bad and the good. It's the same thing I said about Dion. There's things that he did well, and there's things that he did bad, and you have to put both of those in the light. So if you had a board with 30 freaking people on there and nothing getting accomplished because nobody could agree on anything, how beneficial is that just because it's a lot of people?
It's not.
It's not. So I think there has to be some type of give and take on that. But yeah, is there some things that land at the board's feet? Absolutely. Are there some things that land at Drake's feet? Absolutely. But I agree with you, Kofi. It's the lion for me. Okay, it's the lion for me. Like, bro, like we're not all stupid. We can't all be that dumb for you to everybody just contradict what you're saying, even your own AD. But you can continue with your soliloquy. I'm sorry.
Again, at some point now that the onus or the light is on there, this is what tells me that God's hand is on Bethune, right? All of this, they were warned a few years ago when the whole Wells Fargo thing came down.
Oh, with the dorms. Yeah.
They were warned then to set the house in order for real, because there was a whole bunch of craziness that was going on then. So, God sits back for a minute. It's like, okay, all right. Okay, I'm giving you an opportunity to set it and fix it yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm winking at this situation. Y'all ain't making the right changes. Okay, all right. So now I got to start exposing stuff. Let me start pulling the covers back on what's going on. Let me cause some more eyes to come to the situation, which is where we are, because now people are rooting out what is the problem. Where's the money going? Now everybody got questions. Where's the money going? Who's really in charge? Is it President Drake? Is it the darn board? How much power does the board have? How much power does the president have? What hand did the president? How do we get more facilities? This is a rooting out process. Okay. This is also a pulling down process where stuff gets pulled down. People are going to lose their jobs. It's just a matter of time. Pulling down. There's also some destruction that's going to take place because sometimes people get prideful and they hard-headed and they hard-hearted and don't want to move. There's going to be some things. People are going to lose their job. There's going to be more embarrassment that is going to come. But it's only then when those things are pulled out of the way that you can actually build and plan. You can't continue to build on faulty ground. You can't continue to build on top of mess. Right now, the situation is really messy because people aren't owning their side of it. And I don't see the side, whether it's the alumni, you got the students that got their thing, which is like, look, we just want the place cleaned up. We want to have a good college experience. We want stuff to be in order. We paying $31,000 a year and we don't see nothing.
Facts.
To the points where it needs to be. Facts. Then you got the alumni that's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They got their own sector problems and stuff where they're trying to reignite or reactivate their voice with the board and with the president. Right now, ain't nobody listening. They upset and should be upset. Okay. Then you have the board that's saying, well, everything ain't us. Then you got the president saying, well, everything ain't me. Come see our campus. We have seen your raggedy campus. What? We have seen it. How many more molded pictures do we need? How many more abandoned buildings do we need to see? You want us to come see it, and then you don't let nobody see it. You wouldn't let the athletes see the fact you ain't have no track. But you want us to come see it. That's just like you were saying the other week, talking about, you knew your report card was a mess. Oh yeah, mama, come on down to the school. Come on down. Are you sure
Knowing you failing.
Knowing
you failing.
she come down there, she gonna pull you out of class and wear your little tail out in front of all of your friends because you made her come off of her job. Listen, I done told you if I have to come down there, is there anything you need to be? No, mama, ain't nobody else got a report card. Ain't nobody got one. You can no, it's a big computer. It's a computer virus. The virus hit. Oh, it hit on your name. Yeah, it hit on my name.
Only yours.
Only your name. Yeah, out of 1,000 students, your name. So when I come down there, we gonna get to the come on down. Ain't nothing wrong.
Knowing you failing.
Knowing you have messed up. That's what President Drake sounds like.
Every time.
Bro, just chill. Own it. Fix it. Own it. Not only own it, fix it. Put together. Involve the community. This is how you silence the alumni. Involve the alumni. Activate them. Tell them what you need.
Listen.
So they can help you. Tell your board what you need so they can help you. That's leadership, not sitting up there trying to cover up stuff that everybody has seen.
You know what, Kofi? It's like, for me, deciphering this mess, it's like it feels like a big knot that you're just trying to get to the root of it. And because I'll get a call from somebody who's close to the board, and they'll say, well, why won't the alumni open up their books and show you what they've been doing, on those, and like, I'm saying, before they got dissolved, why won't they show their books of where their money's going of the stuff that they've been getting donations about? I think, listen, I feel like this is a relationship that's nobody's built on trust. Nothing is built on trust within this relationship. It's like, oh, you doing this, but what about you? Or I saw you down there walking with him, we're holding hands. Who's that? So it just, for me, there just needs to be transparency across all matters. That's the board, that's the president, that's the alums, whatever chapter you might be a part of, Sigma Bethune Mary Alpha chapter. I don't give a damn what chapter it is. All these Bamas just need to be honest with each other and full transparent. It just is what it is.
Why? You can't be scared to meet with the people who really want to help you.
Can't hurt.
You know what I'm saying? It can't hurt. Yeah. Hey, and then you set order, you set protocols. And you have a meeting so you can talk like adults and don't be disrespectful, But if the goal is to help the future of Bethune-Cookman University, you have to go through, even if you bring in an outside source, God forbid, even this past year, the one thing I can say about President Robinson is he did go to the University of Central Florida and South Florida and talk with their athletic their compliance teams to try to set some type of new precedence for the school. Do it. Kill all that pride. Get that foolishness out the way so that you can get back to level ground.
Absolutely.
Right now, y'all fighting uphill, and it's ridiculous.
And I think the last point before we go back to the coach is this. For me, what just being down there and just seeing the school and its facilities. Listen, at the end of the day, right? When you're talking about the Bethune situation, the dorm situation, it all leads back to bad business. It just leads back to bad business. And the problem that I have is that me and Mr. Campbell, we talk all the time, and he says what he hates to see and he hates the stigma of is black people don't know how to do business, because that's not true. But what happens is that every single situation, when it hits an HBCU, it always comes back to somebody doing bad business or a crooked deal, a backhanded deal, somewhere to where you're like, we can't move like that. The PWIs can, because if they got 50 million and they lose 5 million, they like, oh shoot, somebody done got us. But if you got 10,000 and you lose 5,000, that hits a little harder. So it's just too many times that I never want to put a stigma on HBCUs do bad business. But what I will say is that when it hurts a school at its core, it's always because of bad business. If it's not bad business, it's negligence. It's either one of the two. It's either you're being negligent or somebody did bad business because they wanted to put their name in the byline or in the headline. I closed this deal. I did such and such, i.e. Dr. McNugget. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to point no elbows. Just going to say Dr. McNugget. And you see those things come to pass, and then you're looking back and like, damn, look where we at. It's messed up.
Here's the deal. And this is what it boils down to for me. Don't defend what is not working. The question leadership has to always ask is this working for us? If it's working, we don't touch it. We let it go. But if it's not working, you have to fix it. It is 150 degrees outside and your air conditioner is broke. Are we going to continue to sit inside while the air is broke, or are we going to pay somebody to come and fix it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Now, back to Raymond Woody. All right. Raymond Woody of Bethune-Cookman about the coach. Good or bad? Good or bad hire?
Well, it's going to make a lot of Cookmanites very happy. I'm not aware of his head coaching experience, but, then again, Ed Reed didn't necessarily have it. But he's been around a lot of quality coaches, a lot of quality people. He's been around long enough to be able to put together a competent quality staff. The good thing about it is he obviously wants to be there because that's his school. But we just going to have to wait and see how good this hire is. Right now, it's a big, man, all right.
Yeah, okay. I think this is like a Band-Aid over top of a hole in the ship.
Because really, for me, I was thinking that they would have gone with Benedict's coach, which to me, he's a Christian. He has Bible studies with those guys. His team wins. I was like, and he would not have cost as much as, maybe some other people, but, Woody is one of their own. So I don't want to cry nepotism just yet. He is credentialed.
I guess. Go ahead. You're right. Go ahead.
He is credentialed. And he loves the school. He understands the culture. He's not going to be abrasive with the people that hired him, which is kind of a good thing for now. But he also, I don't know any resources that he's bringing, that's going to bring an immediate shift and change. I just kind of like him. Just gotta wait and see.
Listen, I don't listen, guys. I think you guys, Blue's my guy, right? Blue's my guy, but I gotta disparage this, right? Recruiting at a Power 5 like Florida State and recruiting at Bethune-Cookman are night and day. You have the resources of Florida State. You have the name of Florida State. When he was at Oregon, he had the same thing. When he was at FAU or wherever they were at, it is night and day compared to recruiting at Bethune-Cookman. And walking somebody around that field if you've never been there. So miss me with this. He's highly touted as a recruiter. That is at a level with a school that has resources, a name brand, and all that type of stuff to go with it. And a lot of recruiters, if you're being real, they just use off the brand of the school. Because there's a lot of stuff you don't even have to talk about because you walk in with the Florida State logo on your shirt. It's Florida State.
Bro, he's got a very, very tough job ahead of him. The good thing is he's in a football hotbed where if he already has the right relationships and if they can unify and right the ship, I give him at least 2 years, 2 or 3 years. But the administration is going to have to follow through on what they said. The alumni, whatever their boosters are doing, are going to have to step up, and they've really, really, really got to make some changes because everybody's eye. There are more eyes on Bethune-Cookman right now than have been on there in the last 10 years,
and then
even while they were winning.
And then I'll say this, and I'll say this. Just because you got talent don't mean you gonna be good. Look at Texas A&M, got a whole payroll full of millionaires and got their ass whooped. So miss me with that. So if you got a whole bunch of talent, that don't even mean nothing. You saw what A&M did last year. They brought all these 4 stars and got smashed. Okay, so that don't even mean nothing. So
it's gotta be the total package. You got to be able to develop your players. Excuse me. You got to be able to put them in position. You got to be able to call the right plays. You need clock management. You need good play calling. You need all of that stuff. You need training, you need all of it working together, and you need a bit of luck too. And it's just a season where they're going to have to do and align and expect a slow build. This won't be an immediate turnaround.
It won't be a turnaround period. Give them 4 years and still won't. Because this is the thing about it, and this is what I'm saying right here, right? Bethune-Cookman is so behind the 8 ball, it's ridiculous. And it's not even, it's to your own peers, right? Because Jackson and FAM are in a whole class by themselves. Right? And then you got A&M and Alabama State, which they're on the heels of Jackson now because they lost Dion. So while everybody's been upgrading to catch Dion in his time at Jackson, what has Bethune been doing other than being in mediocrity?
Fighting.
So you got to turn the whole program around. So literally just being Valley good is decent. If you just Valley good, 4-7, 5-6, that's your expectations, Bethune, for the next 4 to 5 years. Until you get somebody that can really push your program to the next level and show that it's competitive on that level, 4-7 is where you're going to be living at. Get real comfortable there. 5-6, 4-7. Because A&M, Alabama State, Jackson, and FAM all have better programs and more stability than anything that you have.
And that stability thing is huge. It's underestimated by a lot of people, but people often, when we were going through that 9-game losing streak with Bethune, one of the things that we had to look at was all of the ADs that were coming in and out. We had to look at the number of presidents that were coming in and out. We had to look at the number of football coaches that we had hired that were in and out.
Yeah.
Because of all of the behind the scenes, the nepotism, the foolishness, the unwillingness to go through a process. Earl Holmes had a nice staff, but he came to FAMU at a time where everybody was really skittish because of everything that happened with the Robert Champion incident. So the SEC players that he had to transfer in weren't allowed to come in because the president and his people weren't going to allow them to come in with all the scrutiny and eyeballs that were on there. So you didn't have personnel, you didn't have facilities, you didn't have money coming in. It was it was the absolute worst. But you need stability at the top. You need stability at the top. You need stability with your athletic director and his staff and administration. You need stability with your coaches. You need stability with your finances. It's not there at Cookman right now.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say this before I go. Comment said, the truth said, what is going on with my stuff is freezing. The truth said, time would tell. Any coach will have the same obstacles. There was no guarantee that Ed Reed was going to win. I'm not saying there was a guarantee that Ed Reed was going to win. Nobody said that. But I'd rather go 4-7 with some resources than be 4-7 and still be broke. Okay? So you can miss me with that right there. I'd rather be 4-7 with some broke resources. I mean, with some real resources, with a new turf field and all that. So,
do we need to log out and log back in?
Probably. Oh, let me see. I don't know. It's just breaking up. I don't know. It's like stuttering. Let me see. Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, go ahead, log back off, log back in.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right. All right, guys, we're gonna log back off and log back. Yeah. Oh. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Can you see me now?
I can see you. I can see you then. It's just like you're choppy, like you're like robotic.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I think my computer just messed up, if I'm being honest. But hopefully it'll get right.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay, I see you moving. You good.
All right, cool. All right, great. All right, so we back. So let me get to these slides. But like I was saying, I'd rather take a 4-7 with some resources than 4-7 being broke. That's just me personally. All right, let's get to the Super Bowl preview. All right. All right. First Super Bowl ever with 2 starting quarterbacks being black. All right. You got the bad man, Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. What you got? Keys to the game, Kof?
They got to keep Mahomes upright if they're going to have any type of chance to win. And they got to be able to run the ball. If they're unable to do those 2 things, they're going to lose. No matter how good Mahomes is, it's going to be kind of like that Tampa Bay scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City's got to be able to limit the big plays from Philly. And me personally, with the running game that Philly has and the wide receivers that Philly has, I just don't see it happening.
Listen, my keys to the game is the Kansas City defense and the Eagles defense. Which one shows up? Which one shows up? Because we both know how high powered these offenses are and how whichever one gets into a rhythm can be detrimental to the other. Patrick Mahomes is the better quarterback. I think the Eagles have the better backfield. I think the Eagles have the better receivers and and Kansas City has a better tight end. I think their O-lines, I would kind of lean towards the Eagles. But the better head coach is Andy Reid. I mean, he's a difference maker. He is a difference maker. They've been there before. That means a lot. Patrick Mahomes has been there, so he's not shy of the moment. Oh my goodness. Listen, I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. I cannot stand his wife. Boy, I cannot stand his wife. That white woman is annoying, okay? But Patrick Mahomes is that guy. So I got Kansas City winning this one. And plus, I'm an NFC East guy. If anybody ever thought I was going to pick the Eagles to win a damn thing, you out your cotton picking mind, right? So I got Kansas City winning this one, 34-28 Kansas City. Kofi, what you got?
I got 31-21 Philly. I feel like the defense from Philly is going to be the difference maker. I think they're going to make more stops than Kansas City's defense. I think Kansas City definitely has the offensive firepower, but I think Philly matches up well. And Jalen Hurts he's got that dog in him. He's going to make just enough plays for Philly to pull away, and that's going to be due to their defense.
Yeah, listen, man. I saw what my Cowboys did to this same Eagles defense with Dak Prescott, okay? With Dak Prescott. This is Patrick freaking Mahomes, okay? The two are not the same.
That's a rivalry game
It's
with
Dak
Dallas and Philly. And Dak Prescott sometimes plays pretty good. And Dallas has weapons. Dallas ain't like void of weapons or people that can beat you. They got good players.
Listen, Dak is the epitome of the stock market. You don't know what Dak and the stock market are like hand in hand. You don't know what it's going to look like day to day. Okay? They're bullish. It don't matter. It's the stock. It's Dak Prescott. Patrick Mahomes, listen, he like a 401k. Maybe just keep depositing in that thing, baby. Just keep putting money in that thing. It's gonna give you your ROI is gonna be good to go. That is what Patrick Mahomes is. That boy is a bad. All right, listen, I always bet on the better quarterback, and I think the better quarterback is Patrick Mahomes.
I agree.
This is what it is. We'll see. We shall see. All right, Kof, I'm gonna leave this one to you. You want to go SWAC rating, class rankings, or you want to go schedule review? Where we headed? Where we going?
Let's do say that first part again. SWAC what?
The class rankings.
Let's do the class rankings.
All right, cool. All right, let's get to these class rankings. Listen, top 5 SWAC signing classes. All right. Now, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw Kofi's list, I was pretty upset with myself. I did not put Alcorn on this list. So I do believe Alcorn should be on this list. All right. Maybe at 5, and I put Valley as an honorable mention, or maybe at 4 and put PV down to 5. And but they should have been on this list. So I'll drop the ball on that one. I dropped the ball on that one. So I'll give you that. But this is my top 5. Number 1 is FAM. The reason I put number 1 is FAM is that they have so much coming back that they only made weaknesses strengths, right? They got bigger at receiver. They went heavy in the running game, even though they don't run the ball that much. And they've plugged in places that they needed. They're a solid team. You got your quarterback coming back. Coach Ress did a great job of bringing in what he needed. Listen, 2, Texas Southern. Listen, you saw what happened when Andrew Body went down. They brought in a quarterback. They brought in Quay. They got some great signing classes, and their team is a very young team growing together. Losing Zay is really big, but they got a DB from UTSA, has been a player and a starter from over there. So I think that they have a good, solid team. Number 3 is Jackson. And the reason I put Jackson at number 3 is simply this. Where your biggest issues you did not address. Your offensive line sucks. Your O-line sucks, and the people that you brought in have been nothing but projects. Nobody can literally step in day one and be I don't believe. Nobody can come in day one and be a contributor, and you got a whole bunch of icing with no cake. Because even when having Dion, your O-line has always been the thing that bites you in the ass at the wrong time, which you still haven't got any better. PV is 4. Listen, you got a lot of stuff coming back. You got to replace some of your defensive players. But listen, adding Juice, adding Caleb, adding some O-line depth, I think that was great for what they did. And listen, you might not like Valley, but if you look at the players that they got a lot of talented guys to do whatever we want Valley to do. And I'm saying signing class. I'm not saying the team is going to be great or top 5 team, but I like the people in their signing classes that are playmakers. I like the Demario Smiths. I like the running backs that they got. I like the quarterback they got from Dallas. Like, they have some players in their class that are really going to do damage, I think, in the next level. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. So I felt like, even with all of the turnover that Jackson State had, to be able to maintain that level of momentum was good. They signed, I think, 2 4-stars and multiple 3-stars. I do agree, obviously, with their line. It's an issue, and that quarterback's kind of a wait and see. But they're starting to fill in some spaces. So I was, just off the hype with the Stars, with the number of people and the energy, I gave them 1. Coach Simmons and them did an amazing job. Coach Riz killed it. You already touched on that, and we needed to fill in the few spaces that we had, but they did a very nice job. I knew that the class was pretty much just about done in December, but to be able to get the players that we got in the spring and in February, I thought was just phenomenal. There was no drop off. You're seeing all of the speed, and the fact that we have 110 people right now already on campus for the spring.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people that's not going to even be able to make it back for the fall. That's how deep the team is right now. So I have Alcorn at 3 because Quades is kept. I mean, Coach McNair did an outstanding job. They got that quarterback coming in. They filled in with some skill. Alcorn is going to be good. They're going to be good. I got A&M at 4. Maynard's always been a very strong recruiter. He finished strong with the quarterback that he signed, and I like what they did overall.
I think they brought. I think they brought in like 5 quarterbacks.
He's trying to find his.
They brought a lot of quarterbacks in. I think maybe 2 high school guys. They got a guy from Northwestern. They got a guy from Buffalo. They got a lot of quarterbacks coming in. I think about at least 4 or 5 of them. Yeah.
Maynard is he's a good play caller. And if he can get the right physicality up front, which is what has really been their Achilles heel, and I want to say just that level of consistency, they'll be dangerous. And of course, I like what Grambling did. It's not going to be an immediate build like it was with Dion, but it's a slow build. I think Coach Hugh knows what he wants, but this is a very crucial year for them. So that's what I got.
All righty. Grambling's class, it's not flashy by any means. It's really not. There's not a lot of stars and things like that. I don't know. I talked to BJ Jones, and he always says, I don't know how many diamond in the roughs you're going to find. And I feel like that's what a lot of Grambling's class is. It's just a lot of diamonds in the rough. But they have been a part of winning. A lot of his class has been a part of winning programs. So that always counts. For me, that always counts for a little bit of something that they know how to win. Because you want guys that come in that they don't know what losing is. They want to compete. They want to win. So I'm curious to see how that class plays out with Grambling. In Alcorn, I agree with you. They definitely should have been on my list if I could have put PV at 4 put PV at 5 and put Alcorn at 4. But I'm really excited to see what Alcorn looks like coming back, especially with the quarterback and adding some defensive depth as well to their things. All right, let's get to the schedule review. If you're new to this, I already did it, so you should already know mine. So real quick, we're going to go over it, and Kofi's going to give you his grade on these schedules, all right? This is UAPB schedule. They got Tulsa, Tennessee State, A&M, Southern, Alcorn, Jackson, PV, Grambling, Texas Southern, and Central Arkansas. How do you rate this? How do you rate this one, Kof?
I give it a solid B+. B+.
Oh man, you're a tough grade.
Tough B+.
Why?
I give it a solid B+. Because the reason I say that, I want that competitiveness for UAPB, but they've got to get some momentum. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to give your players that measure of confidence for them to begin to believe so that they know how to win. That ain't finna happen necessarily. Schedule right off. This is gonna be tough. It's gonna be a grind.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. I see what you're saying. All right. So you were hoping. See, now if they would have had that Southern schedule last year, then yeah, I get what you're saying. When you're playing like 2 back-to-back D2 schools or what, like NAIA schools, I get what you're saying. It makes sense. Definitely makes sense. All right. Next up, Alabama A&M. If my computer would stop acting up. All right, Alabama A&M schedule. Vanderbilt, Lane, Southern, UAPB, Tuskegee, Jackson, Grambling, Alabama State, FAMU, Bethune, and Valley. I rated this a C minus. What do you got, Cove?
I have it as a C. It's an average schedule. It's nothing great, nothing outstanding. You're playing your marquee games are SWAC teams. Vanderbilt, opening up there. That's obviously it's an SEC team. It's right up the street. They should have a good turnout, but they're not going to win that game. So to play Lane, which is going to be a dangerous D2 team, you know, they obviously have to win that game. And Tuskegee ain't gonna be no pushovers, but that's an in-state D2, which gonna be a lot of money. Tuskegee saying they're going D1. It's okay. It's a C.
All right. Moving forward, let's see what we got coming up next. Alabama State. All right, Coach Eddie Robb, no longer considered the real estate agent. All right. Formerly known as real estate agent. Southern, Miles College, FAMU, Alcorn State, Bethune, Jackson, A&M, Grambling, Valley, Prairie View, and Tuskegee. How do you rate this one? I gave this one a D+. What do you got for this schedule?
Pull that back up again because I was trying to see their opening game. I mean, they don't have any Division I teams or FBS teams on their schedule. And I get why they're playing the Alabama D2 schools because they'll be able to make money. They don't have to give them, you know, a ton of money. I think Bama State needs to play Tuskegee, but they don't necessarily have to play Miles. I would have liked to have seen them play somebody different there.
Okay.
From a money standpoint, from an attendance standpoint, it's a B. But from a competition standpoint, it's definitely it's a C minus.
All righty. I like that for money and then for competition. I like that. You got to put that in for HBCUs. I like that. All right. So you gave him a C, right?
Yes.
Okay. Prairie View. And all 10A fans. All right. I absolutely love this schedule. Texas Southern, Abilene Christian, SMU, Alcorn State, Grambling, Valley, Houston Christian, FAMU, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Southern, and Alabama State. I gave this an A+ for a schedule. I think you couldn't have made something this perfect. The only thing you might want to do is you want to take SMU down to another school, maybe an FCS school. But other than that, absolutely love it. What you got, Kof?
I give it an A. They're playing up. They got rivalry games. Just the only thing that I would say is not really. It's no weeks off.
Oh, that's facts. It's nonstop.
It's no weeks off. They're gonna need that bye week. But hey, you want your team to face quality, solid competition. They got it. It's there from the beginning all the way to the end.
Man, love it. Absolutely love the schedule. Kofi gave it an A. Moving forward, Grambling and Hugh. All right. Schedule goes Hampton, LSU, Florida Memorial, Texas Southern, PV, Alcorn, A&M, Bethune-Cookman, ASU, UAPB, and Southern for the Bayou Classic. I think I gave this one a B. Yeah, I gave the schedule a B. What you got, Kof?
Yeah, that's a strong schedule. Who is that they play after LSU?
Florida Memorial.
Oh, that's what brings it down.
Yeah, that's why I gave it a B too.
But for where they are as a program, my problem with that is it's not going to necessarily affect their game because the Grambling people don't come to the game anyway.
Wow.
So it's for them to play Florida Memorial is just a filler game. It's really a filler game. I would like them to prove me wrong. That game against Hampton is going to be big. It'll be over 40,000 people there. That's going to be a good game. So I give them a solid B.
Okay. Love it. Love it. All right. Moving forward. Next up, Andrew Buddy in Texas Southern, baby. Gotta make sure my man Andrew. And once again, if you watch my schedule review, Texas Southern know what they doing. They put my man Andrew Body on the schedule. They put him on the graphic. You better listen. Gotta put your playmakers on the graphic. All right. Got Prairie View, Toledo, Rice, Grambling, Lincoln, Bethune-Cookman, FAM, Southern, Jackson, Alcorn, and UAPB. What do you rate this schedule? I think I gave this one. It wasn't an A. Yeah, I gave it an A. It would have been an A plus, not for Lincoln. What do you got?
I give it an A- with that Lincoln game.
Yeah.
But being that they've opened up with, Toledo, Rice, and Prairie View, and Grambling, they might need that break.
Andrew going 3-1. 3-1. Right there. Andrew going 3-1. He beating Rice, he beating PV, and he beating Grambling. 3-1, baby. Toledo.
We shall see.
We
shall see. Because they got the same head coach, right?
Yeah. But Andrew, you give Andrew another year to get that thing going. It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you said A. You said what'd you say? A-?
I give it an A. A. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. 3-1, baby. I said Andrew was gonna go undefeated at homecomings. He went undefeated at homecoming. I'm just saying. All right. These Bamas. Southern. Okay. I hate these Bama schedule. All right. That's their schedule. You can see it. I think I gave it an F. This is an F to me. But go ahead. It's on you, Kofi. However you want to rationalize it.
It's just a swag schedule with, they chose to. Is that their homecoming game?
Yeah, the LU game. I don't know. I think that's Link. I don't know who that is. Langston, maybe. I don't know.
That looked like Lincoln.
Oh, probably. I don't know.
I would have liked to have seen them, but they played LSU last year and got kicked 70-5. So I'm gonna give them a break. I'm gonna give them a C-.
All right, cool. Trash ass schedule. Now,
And he trash.
listen, man. The only game I understand on this thing is Jackson and it being an out of conference game and things like that. I get all that, but other than that, man, this is a trash ass schedule. Like I said, I gave it a F-, and Kofi gave it a C?
C-.
C-. All right. C- for you Southern fans. Man, y'all need to just fire Roman Bakes and get a real scheduler in there for real, man. Y'all get on my nerves, man. I want to see some real competition. Alcorn. All right. Listen. Chef's kiss, baby. Chef's kiss, baby. Montebello, Tutti Frutti, Southern Miss, Stephen F. Austin, McNeese State, PV, Alabama State, Grambling, UAPB, Valley, Southern, Texas Southern, Jackson State. Chef's kiss, baby.
A+.
A+++++++.
That's a football schedule.
Come on, man. Chef's kiss, baby.
Now, where's that Stephen Austin game?
At Stephen F. Austin. Remember, they had the home game last year.
Okay, that's right. All right, and they play McNeese at home.
Yeah.
That's still good.
Yep. So, absolutely love it. Shout out to the new AD down there in Alcorn. Shout out to McNair. Really want to give his team some comp. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen. Who cares? I don't care. They ain't got the juice no more, so they ain't really know. So for me, this is their schedule. All right. This is their schedule. South Carolina State, FAM, Southern, Texas State, Bethune, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Valley, UAPB, Texas Southern, Alcorn. My grade, who gives a damn? All right, I don't really care. Don't bother me not one bit. They ain't got the juice no more. But what you got, Cove?
I give them a B.
A B?
A solid B for this schedule.
That's fair.
Because to open up with South Carolina State, for me, for TC Taylor, this is going to tell me what kind of coach he is or where he is right now. Beating Buddy Pugh is never easy. No matter who they lost, who they gaining, this tells me if you have been as detail-oriented as you need to be, because they're just going to play you straight up, and you're going to see what you got.
I'll tell you this, though. Them first 6 games, that's
serious.
That's serious. Okay, because this is where I look at it, right? SWAC fans don't care about out-of-conference games. So South Carolina State, if you lose, it don't matter. If you lose the Southern game, it don't matter because it's an out-of-conference game, so it doesn't count towards your schedule. So if you lose if they lose those 3 games, it doesn't really matter. If we're being honest, they just gotta. If they beat FAM and the other part of the schedule is really soft, A&M, State, Valley, UAPB, other than Texas
Southern, Bama State's gonna be pretty good.
The last 2 is gonna be their biggest games, but honestly, really, you can lose. You can literally go 1-3 in the first 4 games and still be in number 1 in the division. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So it really don't matter how you look at it. So to each his own. So that's why I said, who gives a damn? I mean, all right, next up. All right, strike again. All right. The good old Rattlers. All
okay.
Right.
So
let's talk about this trash schedule.
The conference teams you have to play, so I don't count those, right?
Yep.
USF, this is a good test for the team to see if we can actually pull off this upset and get it done, because I felt like the game was winnable the last time. We just went in with the wrong strategy. So I'm going to see what we've learned and see if we're going to give ourselves a solid opportunity to win, but that's good competition. West Florida is going to be a whale of a game, but my thing is this. I like it from a competition standpoint. I like the fact that they're close. We have history with them when we practiced with them for the COVID session, and it was tooth and nail. But they could have played. I would have liked to have seen them play Mercer, one of the FCS teams that are in the region. And the Lincoln game, for me, again, that's just like it's a scrimmage. I give it a D.
Let me tell you. We don't care. Jerry.
It's a D. I'm being merciful because that's my school. It should be a D- because this was an opportunity. I believe when you make a schedule, you're making a schedule to give the players that are on your team the best possible opportunity to lengthen or to have postseason opportunities. Right now, you only have potentially 1. If you lose against Jackson State or you lose a conference game, that's it. There are no more opportunities. Nobody else is going to respect this schedule. Now, I know from a standpoint of, okay, so paying or playing an FCS school is going to be more of a guarantee. You got to pay a higher guarantee. Where's Division I? So you play the cost to be the boss. We should have, man.
He said F squared.
It is what it is, bro. It's
that's funny.
I think the fact that you're playing USF gives it some strength. The West Florida game is going to be a great game. We're gonna, but their classification, their Division II in classification, but on their level, they're a top 15 FCS team.
Listen, man, I don't care. I don't care how you want it. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, it's like this. If Willie Simmons is not in the SWAC championship, this is a bad year. Point blank, period. The only team you have lost to in the last 2 years is Jackson. You have everything going for you. You got your quarterback coming back. You got a great class coming in. You got a sorry-ass schedule. If you are not in the SWAC championship, listen, all I'm going to say is Willie going to Willie it up. At the end of the year, I'm just going to say Willie done Willied it up because with this schedule, there is no reason why you should not be in the SWAC championship. Point blank, period. No excuses. None whatsoever. So I don't even want to hear later down the season talking about some, we still have a chance at the playoffs. If that's the conversation coming out of Rattlers' mouths, you already lost in my book. You've already lost in my book. So you need to be booking tickets. FAMU fans need to be booking tickets to the SWAC championship at Bragg, whatever date that is, December, whatever. That's how confident you Bama should be. That with this trash ass schedule, because that's all you got. That's all you got. Because it ain't playoffs with this. It ain't cutting it, baby. It ain't cutting it. So I'm just letting you know. So my grade straight F minus. F minus. F squared. I like what Jay Bubba said. F squared. I'm telling you. All right, open up these call lines. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Not playing with you guys. If it ain't SWAC championship, you Bamas are trash.
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
I know you like to play the politic game, like, oh yeah, Scotty, we're not really trash. We just know that it's tough out here in the
I don't like the schedule.
Don't want to hear it.
I don't like the schedule.
Don't want to hear it. It's SWAC championship or bust. I can't even say Celebration Bowl or bust because the West champion could be somebody really, really good. The West is pretty tough. I ain't gonna lie. PV, Texas Southern, Alcorn, that's going to be a battle for that West. So I can't even say that you're going to walk into the SWAC championship and just dominate and win it. Because at the end of the day, Willie can still Willie something up. So let's not act like it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, y'all need to be booking tickets for the SWAC championship. I ain't even going to hold you. If y'all not, you got your tickets, Cove?
I got my tickets.
Oh, did we on the same page then?
Here we go.
Yeah, that FAMU North Carolina A&T game, I think that would have been amazing. That would have been good. FAMU versus Southeast Louisiana, part 2 would have been real good. I'm waiting to see that rematch. I'm definitely waiting to see that rematch. But, of course, Mike Smith don't know how to make no schedules out here in these streets. 7608 coming to you. Hey,
what's up, man? It's D from Atlanta, man.
What's up?
Hey, man, I'm a day one fan before all this SWAC stuff, man. Hey, can we get a Fat Cat reunion for Super Bowl, man?
Yo, he a busy guy, man. He be working.
Okay, I'm a day one fan, Scott. You know what I'm saying? Before the SWAC, everything. I was there when you and Fat Cat started, brother.
I appreciate it, bro. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. You have a great day, man.
I appreciate it, man. Listen,
yeah.
Anytime you say Fat Cat, I know you've been around this channel way too long. That was my original co-host when I first started. It was supposed to be a co-host show. Yeah. So when you say Fat Cat, you definitely been around here way too long. Scotty, tell us their ranking numbers out of 130. I'm gonna start addressing some of y'all by that. Tone it down. 155. Oh man! All right, Mama Body, I got you. But yeah, I mean, listen. I think after spring, we'll start doing like wins and losses, predicting wins and losses for the schedules and stuff like that. And we'll probably do the MEAC as well and things like that. But I'm excited for spring ball. How do you think it's gonna go for you guys down there with your new FEMA trailers and stuff like that?
We just need to stay healthy.
Okay.
That's really for me. Obviously, want to see who Coach Simmons brings in to replace Barasa, our wide receivers coach. but our wide receiver core is very deep, very experienced. Musa's coming back. Bro, 110 people in camp. It's gonna be well competitive, and I'm looking forward to it.
Who's the backup quarterback?
Oh, we got Jacoby Jordan.
Okay.
Maritovic.
Oh, I like Maritovic.
Jimbo Fisher's son, Trey Fisher. And the kid, DJ Boney from Eastern Kentucky.
Okay. All right. I like Maritovic. I like him. He never bounced back after that Jackson State game because he played really well in that game, and he just never got right after that. But I did like him though.
It's amazing, man. It's a lot that goes into that whole thing, man. But I'm interested to see what our run schemes are going to be. That is the part to me that has to be fixed going into this fall. Now, here's the topic for you, right? I believe that we should be able to play 1 or 2 scrimmage games against another school in the spring.
That's not allowed in the SWAC?
I don't think it's allowed anywhere. Nobody's doing it. You can't play a conference team, but you should be able to play
out of conference team.
An out of conference team, Division I, Division II.
I thought you did
spring.
I thought you did scrimmages with West Florida.
We did, but that was because of COVID and they allowed it.
Gotcha.
But there's technically no law that prohibits it per se, but I would like to see a bigger push to get at least 1 or 2 spring jamborees of some sort, because the athletic departments would benefit tremendously from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives our players an opportunity to play against other competition. You get a fair chance to really evaluate them against other competition. They're tired of hitting against each other in practice.
My boy Ja Tuck came in and said FAMU won't beat Jackson. How important is that mental hurdle of FAMU getting over?
I don't think it's a mental hurdle, to be honest. Because we don't have a ton of history with them. We knew that in 2021 we really should have won the freaking game. Last year, with everything that was going on, it was just
a demolishment.
It was whack. But there was no greater hurdle than losing 9 straight to Cookman. So you get over that, you can get over anything. It's just a matter of us coming out with a game plan, getting out there and execute. And I want to see what they're going to come up with. There's no excuses, bro.
Last thing before we get up out of here, I want to get back to that run fit and run scheme. A lot of teams have like a passing game coordinator. Like, I don't know what has happened from Bishop Bonnet to where you're at now, because the team seems night and day from committing to the run. You have 3 or 4 probably starting running backs. What does that look like? Because if I'm a running back at FAMU, how confident should I be in Willie Simmons giving me the ball? Because that's really not his cup of tea, if I'm being honest.
We had, I want to say, going into the 2020, that COVID year, and 2021, we had Klanakas, who was our offensive line coach and running game guy. He was there when Lamar was at Louisville. So he had a good handle and changed up some concepts with what we were doing with our run game. But lately, after Bishop, the thing that Bishop was able to provide was extreme quickness and explosiveness. Mm-hmm. Bishop would hit the hole and people wouldn't even know it, but he'd be past them in 0.5 seconds. By then it was too late. The running backs that we had last year were just big, and I saw zero creativity in the run game, the blocking scheme, nothing to get those guys in some space. None of that, bro. I was just like, even from an unbalanced line standpoint, there was zero creativity. And because Musa was never a threat to run, it really hindered a lot. But a lot of that came with just being predictable with the run game. It was just overly predictable. It was like, okay, we running right, we running left. It's going up the gut. The guys that we had were bigger. So, they're not going to hit it with the same kind of explosiveness. But I was like, man, y'all got to find something. My God, even when you watch like the FCS championship game, it wasn't fancy what those guys were doing, but they gave you different run sets that ultimately worked. And, I'm like, come on, man, we got to do better.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. For me, I think to really see the best of Musa, you need a run game.
Absolutely.
You need a run game. I think Musa's a high level QB, but I don't think he is a Shador to where you put the game on his shoulders and you're just like, hey, throw us into a win. I think if you can keep Musa down to about 20 to 25 attempts, I think you'll have a very, very efficient Musa. Because what I saw even in the South Carolina State game was, the more he throws, the more you pick up his tendencies. That's the problem with Musa. The more he throws, the more you find out where he wants to go with the ball, who he's looking at, and he puts the ball in harm's way a lot the more times he throws it. So if you can keep it down, you have a less range of him being a turnover machine, which he has the ability to do. But I think Willie also has to commit to the run, really, using multiple backs to see who's the right fit for this game. And I don't know if your boy Terrell, what was his name? Terrell Jennings last year
Yeah, Terrell Jennings.
I don't know what happened to him. Like
it was I really honestly believe, excuse me, our scheme was just too predictable. It was just way too predictable for him to be consistently effective.
Yeah.
That we didn't even run a 2-back set the entire year.
Yeah.
No 2-back sets. In 2021, we had 2-back sets. There were no even 3-back sets. No mixing up. Nothing changed. It was the same formations. And I think the goal was to give, Zay as many opportunities to make plays so that the scouts, of course, would look at him. But, for me, I'm like, we need a little bit more creativity, especially with the run game. Not only creativity, but execution. And it should have been something for me that was easily fixed, but it wasn't.
All righty. Hey, guys, listen, that's been our time. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We will be doing a Afterglow on Monday following the Super Bowl, recapping that, any updates in the SWAC arena. But we appreciate you guys. Kofi, you got anything coming up this week?
ONG Strike Zone, baby. That's it. We looking good.
Bowling Strike Zone. Always bowling strike, baby. Wednesday nights. You better be there, be square, all right? Listen, until next. Hey, also Tuesday, upon further review, make sure you tune in for that. Tuesday, upon further review, 8 o'clock. Wednesday, the breakdown. Me, Mike, will talk about the Jack State schedule in a more totality. I'll give you my opinion of it realistically. And then anything coming up, be on the lookout. Me, Blue, and Cam, we might be doing some breakdowns on some signing classes, just our favorite players from different teams and who we think could be impactful for this next upcoming swap. All right? So listen, until next time, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.